Hey guys, Sean Evans with The Drive. We are here in Burbank at the Mecca for any gearhead. This is Jay Leno's Garage. We've gotten an invite to come down, and Jay's going to show us his favorite pieces of American muscle. This is absolutely,
I mean, there's always been
incredible.
What they call muscle cars, but the term really came in the early 60s with the GTO with the 389 in it. This is one of Chrysler's early examples. This is a 66 Coronet. It's green, it does have bucket seats, but it's got the 426 Hemi. And that's the key to these cars.
This is gorgeous. This is
Yeah,
absolutely
they don't
beautiful.
stop, they don't go around corners, but in a straight line, they were really fast. These came with a 90-day warranty. 3 months you got, that was it. You're on your own, you know. I've had about 30 years, but even single master cylinder, I mean, this is really primitive. I mean, there's no traction control, there's no ABS. I mean, I was going up Coldwater Canyon once, and it wasn't raining, but it was damp, and a guy behind me, so I just nailed it, and the car went, and the guy, beep, and now I'm facing the guy. I go, sorry. I mean, it shows you how far cars have gone. That's a 70 Dodge Challenger. That also has the Hemi, and wanted men who can handle a real gun. Men. The sexism of the early ads, like, and look, it's not even staying on the road in their own ad. It's over the double line and it's sliding around, but this too had the incredible Hemi engine. Whereas with the early one, the 66, just looked like a taxi cab. This one really went all out with the hood pins and the wheels and the styling and, you know, the hood scoops and the whole deal. You know, it's got the big Hurst shifter in it. They really wanted it to look like a sporty racing car, you know.
And you have the new Hellcat over right next to it.
Right.
So between the two, which do you find yourself gravitating towards more when you're going to take
these
one?
seemed incredibly fast back in the day, but compared to modern stuff, I mean, when I was a kid, anything 0 to 60 under 7 seconds was blindingly fast.
Yep.
This was low sixes. Now, it's like walking around with a big rolled up sock in your pants. It looks impressive, but it doesn't really do anything. You know, you're not going to win any races with this. This will eat this thing alive. I mean,
Well, yeah, if you want pure power, but what gives you more of an enjoyment when you're driving?
of that, because this doesn't really, you know, when you read the road tests of these cars, they're only good for going in a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
The 440 was actually a better street engine, but the Hemi would breathe better at high RPM.
So do you take this out at all?
Oh, sure, I take it out a lot. I mean, you know, I think in the future these cars will become what like snowmobiles and recreational vehicles are. You go out on a weekend, you go to the local Cars and Coffee, or you know, the Dairy Queen or the McDonald's, and you hang out with other guys and you bench race and talk cars, and maybe you go for a little drive. The idea of driving something like this to San Francisco, I don't think anybody really would do that anymore.
But you'd road trip in that.
Yeah, and that's no problem. But this, you couldn't get air conditioning, no power brake,
faster.
nothing. Yeah, it was just, you had to be a true enthusiast to own one of these. The thing that's kind of fun is resto modding, where you take an older car and you make it a muscle car. I mean, this car over here, I bought in 1972 for $350 out of the Penny Saver when I came from Boston. I didn't have a place to live, but I bought a car first because you're in California, and that's more important. Better have something to drive than a place to live. And with the Buick, it was actually big enough that you could sleep in it. It sat in my mother-in-law's driveway for about 16 years while younger, prettier cars came along, and then one day it was sitting there, it had flat tires, and somebody put a note on the windshield. Obviously no one cares about this car, I'd like to buy it. Oh, no, I care about it. So I said, so we dragged it back here and we decided to resto mod it. We put a 572 big block in it. We put Corvette independent suspension.
You're going to want to come up close for this, because
Yeah.
this is kind of incredible.
That's the very first 572 crate motor that GM built, and they put my name on the valve covers as kind of a joke. I didn't put my name on there. But it's got disc brakes, and it actually stops and handles. And there's nothing funnier than blowing off Porsches and Corvettes at stoplights with this thing, because it just looks like a big old tank. You know, these weren't meant to be particularly fast cars back in the day. So the fact that it does it at all is really funny. But it's
what's the horsepower that you're getting out of this?
you're about 650.
650.
Yeah, so it's
And
not bad.
somewhere equal pound-foot of torque.
Well, you're over 500 foot-pounds. What we did on this was we put bigger wheels in to get the disc brakes, and we spun our own hubcaps to make it look stock.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so that's not really what the original hubcap looked like, but that's as close as we could get. This was a one-year-only car. This is the Galaxie. Maybe they had the Galaxie and then the Galaxie 500 and the Galaxie 500 XL. Well, this was called the 7-liter. The idea was to build a full-size car with muscle car power. And when it came from the factory, it had a 428 in it. I made my dad buy one of these in 1966. I actually tricked my dad into buying it. We went into the dealership to look at cars, and they didn't have any Galaxies. My dad wanted a full-size car. So my dad would just buy what's on the showroom. Oh, give me that one, you know. And the salesman said, we don't have any on the floor. All right, we'll go to the Chevy dealer. And I said, Dad, let's order a car. Oh, how long does that take, you know? And the guy said, well, 4 to 6 weeks you have it. All right, fine. And I said, Dad, can I pick the engine? And my mother said, oh, let the boy pick the engine. You know? My father said, all right, yeah, what color are you going to get? Maroon. All right, maroon's fine. So I sat, Tom Lawrence was the salesman, I remember it.
You remember the guy's name?
Well, yeah, Shawsheen Motors in Andover. So I sat down and we went over the whole thing, and I ordered the police pursuit package, the 428 with the muffler delete option. I couldn't trick my dad into getting a stick. He would never do that. So he got the automatic. And
You got him to buy the police package?
Yeah, and then I checked off the bucket seats, you know. He didn't see that, you know. So then the car comes in, the father goes, oh, it's beautiful. What the buckets? What the hell is the bucket seats? I said, Dad, it only comes with buckets. Oh, all right, fine, you know, fine. My father said, oh, it looks all right, come on. It's just a car to my dad, you know. So my dad gets in the car and he turns the key and he goes, hunger, hunger. He goes, there's a hole in the muffler. It's a brand new car with a hole. I'm not buying a car with a hole in the muffler. And he just starts screaming at Tom, the salesman, you know. And the salesman goes, Mr. Leno, you checked muffler delete. Why the hell would I check muffler delete? Well, you ordered the police pursuit package. My father says, what? And well, now he knows he's been had, you know. So now my dad's, he's really bad.
Were you in trouble though? Were you in the doghouse for a little bit?
No, they were okay.
All right.
I was when I wrapped it around a tree. And,
How fast were you going?
you know, these tended, by the second year in Massachusetts, you put your hand here and go through the fender because it would rust out so quickly. So we only had it for a couple of years, and then my dad gave it to me when he bought the Buick Electra, which is more his car, with the tufted upholstery, which my mother loved. You know, the big tufts, you know, all that kind of stuff. They liked that much better, it was quieter, so they gave that to me, and then I wrapped it around a tree. But I always loved it. I searched high and low to find, the 7-liter was only 66, and then in 67 it was an option. An option package on a Galaxie. So I wanted to recreate the car I had when I was a kid, and we put a Roush 511, here we'll take a look. And we put a 6-speed in it.
Where'd you find this?
Huh?
Where did you find the car?
Canada.
Canada?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to find mid-60s cars, especially in cold weather, that haven't rusted out.
I was just gonna say, and it was in good condition?
We had to do quite a bit of work to it.
Okay.
Hotchkiss did the chassis for us, so we have NASCAR suspension in it, so it handles. But the ultimate resto mod for me was a car we built 10 years ago, and we got Hot Rod of the Year of it, with Hot Rod of the Year rather, with Hot Rod Magazine. Come on, I'll show you that one. This is a 1966 Toronado. When this came out, it was the first front-wheel drive American car in 30 years. And they always used to say you couldn't put more than 200 horsepower through the front wheels or the car wouldn't handle. Well, GM managed to get 375 horsepower. I always liked the look of this car. It looked like an American car. You could take a guy from Albania, show him this car, and you go, that's got to be American. It just looks American. It's big, it's powerful. What we did with it was we converted it to rear-wheel drive because we wanted to get at least 1,000 horsepower. So we got we got 1,070. Well, I live in a hilly area.
Oh yeah, you'll need 1,000.
Yeah. This is the 427 engine that won Le Mans back in 2005 for Chevrolet. We put twin turbochargers on it. Each turbo's got its own cooling system.
This is insane.
Yeah, each turbo is cooled here, and the main cooling system here for the engine. We made our own pop-off valves because nothing was commercially available. It's got traction control, it's got ABS, it's got methanol water injection. So it drives and handles like a proper car.
What'll this do a 0 to 60 sprint then?
Well, it's two-wheel drive and you don't have huge tires on the back, so it's plenty fast. I mean, I usually rolling start with it and then nail it, and then it's pretty quick.
Then you're good?
I'm not sure what the number is, but it handles and drives nicely. All independent suspension. We had to make our own chassis and then set the body on it. You know, it's interesting, when we put the body on, we realized the antenna went here. So what we did is we pulled the water tank, sleeved it, and had the antenna come up through the center of the water tank just to keep everything looking 100% stock. The one thing I'm proudest of are those wheels.
So these are custom?
Yeah, we started with a 400-pound block of aluminum and cut these wheels because I didn't want to put mags on it, or 21s or 22s. I wanted to keep the integrity of the original design. So normally this would have a 15-inch tire. Now it's got a 17-inch. We made a 17-inch wheel so we could get the big Corvette disc brakes in there. So it drives and handles nice, and it's actually about 400 pounds lighter than the original car because the chassis and the engine are lighter than the original engine that was in there. But it runs and drives and handles nice. So
where do you take it when you take it out?
I drive it. I mean, it's a car. You know, I use it. You know, I mean, I don't give it to the valet or anything like that. Anyway, that's my idea of some classic American muscle and some American muscle that's been resto-modded.
This was so cool. Thank you so much for having us.
Well, thanks for taking the time. Thanks.
Really
Good to see you again.
Thanks for watching.